I recorded an entire world tour and then spent 3 hours using the public library Wi-Fi to upload the video to YouTube, only to realize afterwards that there was an issue with my audio. So we're doing it again. I'm gonna probably repeat myself. I'm a little bit scatterbrained. Okay. And also everything's gonna be ugly. Because I wasn't really planning on making a world tour. I wasn't planning on doing any videos for this survival world. This is just going to be like a single player world for me. But then I figured that, you know, the 1 year anniversary is coming up. And then in addition to that, I was posting some screenshots and people wanted to see a little bit more of what was going on. So I figured I'll do like a video like this, and then, like, I don't know. Whether or not there'll be more kind of just depends on if people want it or not, because it's a little bit inconvenient for me to do recordings. But yeah, so okay, let's just do, this is my spawn. It's ugly. I'm on just a pillar of scaffolding. Let me zoom out a bit. This was a forest. It kind of matched like the left and right that you see here, and I mowed it down. It took me like 2 days. I have plans for this area, but as of right now, it's just ugly. That's kind of why these things are floating up in the air, is because that's where the floor used to be before I cut it all down. And these guys are here because I don't know what to do with them yet. I don't like villager transport. It's a headache. And so for right now, they're gonna be there until I know what to do with them. But so yeah, this is the spawn. I think if I throw something in an end portal, it goes to where the scaffolding is. That's why I put it there. Because I may or may not do something with that in the future. I haven't decided yet. But I have plans to build a bunch of stuff here. I won't say yet, because I'm still kind of working on the idea. But to get like the gist of what I'm kind of going for is this thing. So this is huge, very tall. And this is the kind of style that I want to go for with a lot of my spawn builds. This is an island where I kind of did a lot of my early game farms and stuff when I was just getting started. I've kind of removed all of it and relocated it since then. I still have carrots here because this is what I use for trading with the villagers sometimes. But this is something that I want to do on all of my like base areas in my world. Like I want to have like a big watchtower as kind of like or not a watchtower, but like just a big tower as kind of like a waypoint, because I have the voxy mod, which lets me see really, really far. And so actually if I go really high up right now, I can kind of perch up here somewhere. Ooh, nice. I can see really far. I think I've gone out about 2,000 blocks in every direction. But to be really far away and then see this tower kind of lets me know that this is where the space is, and I think it's just like a cool thing to be able to look across my world and see all my waypoints. I got the idea from like the Zelda games on the Switch. Like just have like these big towers that kind of help you have like a frame of reference for where your stuff is. But right now I only have this one, and it actually houses. Oops. Each one of these towers is going to house a teleport system, which is like one of the main features of this world. Right now in this world, the things that I've worked on are like a couple teleport stations, and then my main base in the end, which we'll show at the end. That's basically all I've done in this last year. The idea is that these two sort of like infrastructures will help me make a lot more progress moving forward. But so yeah, this is the first teleport station. This is just the red station where spawn is. The idea is that if I right click on any one of these note blocks, it'll take me to a station that corresponds with that color. So this is the red station. My main end base is actually hooked up to the orange station. And then I have another one that's like way out, like 7,000 blocks out. That's the light blue station, which is where I gathered all my packed ice for my end base. The rest are not hooked up yet. I just haven't taken the time. I'll get to it eventually, but I just haven't felt the need yet. But yeah, the idea is that you just right click on this, wait like 10 seconds, and you're teleported somewhere. There's a lot of redstone going on in the back. If you look, it looks pretty complicated. It is pretty complicated. Like Mod 4 wireless stuff is like, I wish it was more simple. And I do have a slightly smaller design than this that I've been working on, but I just haven't put it in my survival world yet. But I'll get there eventually. Yeah, so this is my spawn. There's really not a whole lot going on here. I have a couple more areas in the overworld to look at. Actually, one of the other major areas that I have in here, I don't have a teleport station to, so I might just fly there. Yeah, I'll just fly there. Going up really high here, you can actually see, like, I have a witch farm way over there in a swamp. I have a creaking, like, resin farm in the Pale Garden over that way. And then way off in the distance over there, I have this mountain range that looks really cool. And I have some, you can kind of see a sneak peek, I have some stuff built over there. I do have some mods installed. A lot of them are mostly just visual or performance, like voxy mod obviously is one. I have a bunch of, like, the sodium suite and all the stuff related to that. The only, like, big game-changing mods that I have would probably be the, like, MiniHUD, Tweakeroo, Litematica, that kind of stuff, just to help me do all the technical stuff. As well as I have Itemswapper, which helps me create these sort of little swapping menus that pop up. It just makes inventory management so much better. I don't know if I could play without them, honestly. Arriving here, yeah, so I love the terrain here so much. Like, it just looks great. The fog and voxy make it look a little bit weird. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to get the fog to look nice with voxy, but it's a work in progress. This right here is a cobblestone farm, and then right next to it is an iron farm that will eventually look, you know, similar to that one. And then off over here, I have this little house that I made. It's just kind of plopped on the terrain. I haven't done any of the landscaping around it to make it look nice yet. But this is just a villager breeder, actually. Like, if you look inside, I just got a bunch of villagers stacked up. I don't do a lot of interiors. It's just supposed to look good on the outside. This iron farm over here is MD's waifu. I forget specifically which version it is. There's a bunch of different versions. But it's a single dimension one. It's like probably the biggest one you could make. Yeah, if you AFK for, like, I don't know, an hour, you can get a couple shulker boxes of iron block or iron bars, iron ingots. It's really nice. I hated making it because I hate villager transport and anything to do with that. It's just a nightmare for me, so I don't ever want to make one again. So I'm glad this one works really well. And eventually I'm going to cover it up, like I said, with something that looks similar to this. And actually I uploaded the design for this building first, like when I'm in creative. So it's like online, like you can find what this is going to look like. I just haven't built it yet. And then I made like a miniature version to house a cobblestone farm that I have in here. The cobblestone farm, you could tell that I didn't plan on making videos for this because there's no door. I just break these every time I come in here, and it looks bad in here. Like it's barely lit up. Yeah, but this is like 5 modules of Big Booty 17's cobblestone farm. Yeah, that's his name. And I have not very good rates because I put them so close together. Actually, I had to use obsidian to make things not break, and so it works, but it's a little bit inefficient. It works for my purposes. I get like 5 shulker boxes of cobblestone in just a couple minutes, so works for me. So yeah, the terrain here looks really nice, but I actually didn't build the stuff here because the terrain. I built it because there's an end portal, like right down there. Like my stronghold is right underneath this little mound here. But just like to get a good look at this looks so cool. I love the new mountain ranges in Minecraft. And I want to do a whole lot more with this area eventually. I just haven't quite got there. I have so many ongoing projects in this world that'll eventually get done. But yeah, so let's go look at the end portal. So what I have, so my wireless teleporters, I have a receiver down here. There's no transmitter part of it. All it does is just receive a signal when I access the, or when I call for like the orange station. Let's see if we can get a good look. I'll do Freecam actually. So these glass blocks are so I can have daylight access for the daylight detectors that are way down here. You can probably, yeah. So there's a whole receiver system, if I can get to a good point. Nope, okay, there we go. There's a whole receiver system down here, so that when I want to call on the orange station, it activates. But instead of doing a like ender pearl thing, like most of my other stations do, instead, it just activates this dropper, which spits out an item. I just have shulker boxes backed up of poppies from the iron farm above in case I run out of items in this thing. But anytime you spit an item into an end portal, or any entity actually, like a player can go through, a minecart can go through, a mob can go through, item can go through. Anytime you do that, it like resets a certain section of blocks in the end, and that I can use that to set off a redstone signal to teleport me there. So I have that here. You could do the same thing with like another portal if you wanted to. You could hook one of these up outside of another portal and then have that activate something through the portal and teleport you there too. I just don't have any of those for the nether yet because I don't really go in the nether a whole lot, but it's the same idea. So that's why I have all these farms here, just because it's right above my end portal and I was already doing stuff here anyway. And I originally wanted to do a lot more with like end portal and teleporting and stuff, but I ended up figuring out a wireless system, so I don't even need to do a lot of the original wiring that I was going to do through the nether before. Yeah, but so at this point, I'm going to go back to my main area, and I'm going to show you guys the teleporter, because that's like probably the second coolest thing I have on this world is just the teleporter that I have works. And it's not perfect. It's not the best one. There's people out there who have made better ones. But I like it. I feel like it, for a single player world, with my understanding of redstone, it works really well for me. Yeah, I have a version 2. The one that I have in my world right now is the second version. I have a video up for that on YouTube actually that you can go watch, and it has like a world download and all that kind of stuff. But I have a version 3 that I'm working on a video for that I will put in this world eventually. So if you're at all interested in the teleporting system, I'll have other videos for that. All right, back at this tower. I want to show off the teleporters. So we're at the red station right now. I'm going to go way out to the blue station, and I have a map mod up. So actually, I have a map mod. Let me zoom out and show you guys how far we're going. So right here, this is spawn. You can see at the top, it's my coordinates are like 94.62. It's like, or sorry, 94, negative 10. Very close to spawn. Spawns, I think, is like right over here. Where we're going is here. It's like negative 2,000 and then positive 5,000 or so. It's like very, very far out here. I can't even see. Oh, here it is. Here's a little station out here. It'll take us about 10 seconds and we'll just teleport straight there. So here a few clicks go off. Get my ender pearls ready to reset it. And we're there. Ice spikes biome. Way, 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 way far out. I think actually if I go up, you can see the edge of the terrain. Way out north. And this is where I only have a teleporter out here because I used it to grab all my packed ice. Like I just came out here and you can kind of see I demolished a bunch of glaciers and stuff. Random spots throughout. And this is the nether portal I originally came in through. Back when I had a whole different way of getting around the world. And then this one's reset. I can just click on this to go back to spawn. There we go. So yeah, I would say that that's like the second coolest thing in the world. The coolest thing in the world is my end base. So let's go ahead and teleport out to the end. I can kind of show you how the other side of the end teleporter works too when we get there. There we go. You can make this way fancier, but I didn't. I just have a trapdoor. I'll get there eventually. I'll make something nicer. But so what it does is this 5 by 5 by like 3 tall area. Every time you send an item through, so I sent this stone through the portal using the wireless thing. Every time it goes through, this whole thing gets reset, and all the blocks that are in it get broken into an item. So this cobblestone was here, and then when I sent the item through, it broke into an entity here. When it broke into an entity, the observer saw that and set this off. And like I said, you can hook this up to any sort of redstone contraption you want. I just have it on a trapdoor to teleport me here. And then you could realistically just pick that back up and then place it. But I'm lazy. So I hooked it up to a cobblestone generator that's on a hopper clock that'll push it back in place. So actually, if I break this, you can kind of see it's just getting pushed back into place, so I don't have to do anything. So I can kind of just like leave it be and not worry about it. But yeah, so this is ugly. I'll work on it eventually. But here's my main end island. Don't have a whole lot going on. This isn't the fancy part. You can kind of see I had a bunch of farms set up here a long time ago. They've since, there's just sea pickles in the end for whatever reason. I think I needed like a filter for my farm or whatever, or my sorting system. Up there is a planet that is a nether tree farm inside. And then I have another one actually, like way, where is it? There it is. This one has 600 bees inside of it because I needed a lot of honey. And the reason I needed a lot of honey was for that. This is my end base. It took me about 11 months. I could have done it faster, honestly. But there was like quite a few months in between where I kind of like wouldn't work on it for a while and then I would start working on it again. But yeah, let's go and fly up. You can kind of see all the glowing blocks kind of render in as voxy loads them. Yeah, this thing is massive. You can kind of go up top and get a good view of it. 500 block diameter for the rings, and then about a 200 block diameter for the planet itself. Yeah, and if you look with the map, this is like 1,000 blocks. And this takes up half of that. It is genuinely so massive, and pretty much anywhere I am in the end, especially with the voxy mod, I can see this thing. It is kind of crazy. Yeah, this is my main base, actually, is out here in the end. I do all of my stuff from here. Going inside, it's going to be ugly again, because I haven't worked that out. Just a big hollow sphere at the moment. Down there you can kind of see I have chunk loaders goings for the sorting system. And then just a huge mess of redstone. How do I explain this? Oh, okay. Let's just go in order. Okay. So this is a sorting system. This is the input. Each one of these is going to be a branching hallway. There's 12 of them total, 6 on each side, and then 3 on each of those sides. The input works as, so I can put anything in this barrel. I can put a piece of stone, I can put in a shulker box, whatever I want. And then if I right click on this note block, it'll send the items up. This is a shulker box separator. So all those open items that I put in there, so like for example that stone, is just going to go in here, get fed through the hoppers, and go into the whole system. Shulker boxes are going to try and get dispensed into here. It's not going to work, so they're going to get pulled out into the separate part that is going to dispense them and then pull the items out of the shulker box into the same line as the stone was before. So basically they just get emptied. And then once they're fully emptied, it gets pushed into this line. And you can kind of see I have just empty shulker boxes down here. Once they get all the items get into the main line, these two filters will take out filter items actually. So if I accidentally put in like a filter item for my sorting system, that would break everything. So I don't want that. So these actually just take them out and then destroy them in the soul fires here below. This slice takes out unstackable items. Eventually I'm going to have a whole section behind it for further sorting those items, but for right now I just haven't done it yet. These next three sorters take out rockets, ender pearls, and golden carrots and load them into this box here, so it's just like ready when I need it. And then a little light turns on, a little ding happens when it's fully full. And then after that, every item just kind of goes down this line. What these are is a bunch of modules of noisy multi-item sorters by Rapscallion. Basically what it is, let me see if I can get a better view up top so we can look inside the containers. What it is basically you have like a pre-filter here, so items are going to get loaded into this chest, and they're going to get it kind of separated by item type. So if you have multiple items, there'll be a small gap in between items. They go into each of these slices, these like 2 wide slices, and each slice has a bunch of stuff in it. If it matches this thing, it'll filter it out and it'll go down into a chest below. If it doesn't match, it'll just go to the next one. And so here I have all of my wooden stuff for my wooden hallway. And if it doesn't match any of the wood type stuff, it goes on to the next one. And the next one has like my dirt and sand and clay and all that kind of stuff. Next one has all my stones, etc., etc. I think it's like redstone stuff, ores, copper, aquatic, nether and end, colorful stuff, crops, mob drops, and the last one is, it's like miscellaneous stuff, like chests and workstations and sticks and all that kind of stuff. Normally what people do for multi-item sorters is they basically will just have like one of these hallways, and that'll go really, really long, and then eventually it'll wrap around all the way back, and then they'll just have like a hallway below that with all the stuff in it. I found that an issue with those is that if you ever want to expand on it, you basically can't. So like, for example, if I had all of the wood types right here, and then right after that, I had the rest of the items, like all the dirt and stones and stuff. And let's say the game adds another wood type. Let's, you know, when they added pale oak recently, if I wanted to go back and insert a slice for pale oak in between all of these, that would have been a nightmare. That would have been a headache. So that's why I have these separated out to hallways, so that if they ever do add stuff, I can just very, very easily expand and add a new module on the end here. I think I even have room to add more hallways on these edges here. If I really wanted to add, you know, more than 12 hallways, if they added like a new update that had a bunch of like dramatically different blocks or something, I could do that if I wanted to. Yeah, and then like I have plenty of room in between these sorters up here too. So like if say they added a new like series of stone types that I had to like add multiple modules onto the end here to even sort it into this hallway, I could do that. I have plenty of room. That was one of the main reasons why I did this whole sorting system, is so that I would have kind of future-proof expandability as more and more updates come out, so that I can play on this world for a very, very long time and not have to worry about the sort of system becoming outdated. I mean, it still might, I don't know what they're going to do, but as far as the way the updates have been going, this system seems to be pretty future-proof. Another thing that people do is because they have that one super long hallway, if you insert an item at the very end, like so for example over here I have like sticks sorted into one of these at the very, very end. If I wanted sticks normally, it would have to go through every single individual slice, all of these woods, and then all of these like dirts and stuff, and then all of these stones, etc., etc. It would take a very long time for the sticks to get there. So I did a 2-tier system. So it has like a first level of sorters that will pull it out into the hallway, and then a second level of sorters that will sort the individual category, if that makes sense. So that way, instead of doing, you know, what is this, like 12, 13 sorters, I only have to do 5. And then for the next one, instead of doing, what is this, like 16 different like dirt types, I have 2 chests. Because if we look inside of these chests, these are packed full of all the different types of stuff. So we're really utilizing all of the space in these to compact it down to 2 chests. Whereas if you go to these, you know, individual categories and stuff, I only have like 5 blocks in here. And then it would take, you know, another sorter for just mud, and then another sorter for just terracotta, another sorter for all the sandstone stuff. Like, I'm not utilizing this space very efficiently, even though they are, you know, categorizing the way that I want. It just takes so much longer to sort this than it does to sort those 2 chests. So that's why I kind of have the 2-tier system. So if I have something later on in the line, it has way less chests to go through to go find its category. And then once it finds its category, it can kind of go through another layer. Overall, it doesn't make sorting that much faster, but it, you know, it saves a couple minutes per round. And it also helps with the expandability kind of aspect that I was talking about earlier. So that's why my layout looks weird and different than most other people's. So that's the sorting system. It's nice because I have so many large building projects, you know, like something like this, where afterwards I just have this huge mess of blocks, and management is just such a headache, and it takes up so much time to like prepare things and put things away. So this whole thing was designed with making the inventory management on me as easy as possible. So if I'm ever done with the project, throw everything in a shulker box, load it in there, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. I also have a couple things set up to make gathering materials a little bit easier. It's not fully implemented yet, but like for example, this down here is a shulker box loader. So if I'm in like, you know, this hallway over here and I need a bunch of copper blocks, I'll pull out whatever I need, throw it in this barrel, and then when I'm done loading it with all the different stuff, I can just press this note block and it will get fed into a like water stream, and it'll all just kind of collect in a barrel over here. So I can go to each hallway, gather the materials I want, put them in those barrels, and then when I'm done with every hallway, I can just come over here into this barrel and pick up all of my project shulkers. So that makes collecting materials way easier. So I'm not having to hold the entire thing in my inventory. I can kind of just like go bit by bit, and then when I'm all done, my inventory is still clean. And then also, that's only what this side is. This side is actually not a shulker loader. Well, it is, but it's for different. If I have a bunch of scraps in my inventory after I'm like crafting a bunch of stuff or something, I put it in here, and then this will actually just go straight back into the sorting system. So if I, you know, I'm making a bunch of pistons or something, and afterwards I have some wooden planks, I can just throw them in here, and then go to the next hallway, and then the wooden planks will kind of just get fed back into the system and go where they need to go. So even like pre-project inventory management and collection and stuff is way easier with this system. I haven't built it out fully. I'm still working on the shulker loaders and stuff on this side, and I have to figure out probably a better way to get shulkers in, because right now they're just like crafted shulkers go in here, and that's not, I need to do something better than that. And then you have this kind of mess of stuff out here in front, all the bulky things. This right here is a shulker dyer. I think it can, it'll also dye things that aren't shulkers, as long as it's just like a one item, one dye kind of recipe, but I have a crafter kind of thing down there. So let's see, let's say I want to make a pink shulker box. I would just come over here, grab whatever shulker I want. Doesn't have to be an empty one. It could be one of the ones from my loaders over there as well. This is another input just like those ones. Throw it in there. Wait a few seconds while I'm going to do another hallway of item collection. And then when I come back here, it should just be the color that I want. So this one should be pink now. Yep. It takes a few seconds, but I don't really care. It's kind of a lot of redstone over-engineered for what it is. It basically just toggles only the one that I wanted, and then whenever a shulker or another item goes into this crafter, it'll call for specifically the one die that I've selected, and then craft it, and then send it up in the barrel. And then over here is a lot of my farms, like AFK, just passive farms. Let me turn this off just because it's kind of annoying to listen to for right now. All of these down here are bamboo farms. It's just rows and rows of bamboo farms. These are all going straight into a crafter with a shulker box loader. So I just have a bunch of bamboo blocks for basically infinite wood for crafting for a bunch of like redstone recipes and stuff. I need a lot of chests for like shulker boxes and a bunch of other redstone contraptions and stuff. So this was very useful for that. And then above that, I just have, 2 rows of sugarcane. They're getting crafted into paper right now because I needed rockets. So same thing, they get loaded into shulkers. This barrel just has a bunch of shulkers of paper in it. On the other side, the way bulkier one is a bunch of kelp. And this kelp is all getting loaded into a furnace array that's not super efficient. It's kind of it's good enough for me right now. All this is getting smelted into dried kelp blocks. The dried kelp blocks are self-feeding back into it, so it can kind of infinitely go. And then the excess gets fed up this line into a furnace array. This furnace array has 50 furnaces. So if I throw in 50 items, they will all be going at the same time. If I throw in, a couple stacks of things, 50 at a time simultaneously, it smelts things very fast. It's really nice. And it has infinite fuel because of all the kelp going into the system from down below. So all these are fully loaded up with kelp at all times. Yeah, I mean, that's my world. I feel like it's not that like, okay, it's impressive. I'm not going to look at this entire build and then act like this wasn't a huge task. This was a lot. But at the same time, I feel like once you've seen this, you've seen my whole world. Like, there's not a whole lot else to show off as of right now. And I think the main reason I think that is because I have so many plans in my head that I just haven't put on here yet. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't planning on making videos for this world, but I know a lot of people wanted to kind of see what was going on. So, I don't know. Some people said live streaming. Live streaming is not an option for me, just because of my living situation right now. I'm actually recording this from inside of my car at a mall parking lot. And all of my videos have to get uploaded through like public library Wi-Fi. Because I'm living in my car right now. So it's just not an easy thing for me to live stream. But recording videos like this is not it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just kind of weird to do in my car, but if you guys are interested in me showing off my builds and stuff, like I'm happy to set everything up and record a video here and there. I can make it work if people are interested. I do have the other video for the wireless system that I'm working on. I just need to get the world download and a couple of schematics and stuff all nice and tidy. But that should be coming out soon as well. But yeah, I just thanks for watching. Thanks for having an interest in this. I have a lot of plans, so I hope that I can continue to build some cool stuff. Thanks for watching.